Dave Ballard, a soldier returned home from the fire of war in Afghanistan, only to find another fire waiting for him in small town Maysville, Oklahoma. This time as a private investigator helping Sheila Deviney's parents in the hunt for her killer.
You could tell right out of the gate that there were some issues.
Sheila burned to death inside her home. At first, it was thought to be a tragic accident, but now experts are calling it a homicide by arson. And several factors seem to support that. The fire started mid-morning in the kitchen. Remember, Sheila had to get her kids off to school and was always awake at that time. How could a fire at 10 a.m. catch her off guard and burn the whole house down?
I just started pouring through their evidence, but it's taken a long time because they had 14 big tubs and trunks of evidence.
Ballard says he's baffled, claiming many of the known facts have not been used to build a case. One big example, the accelerants found on the scene and in Sheila's lungs.
If you would put that in a rag and put it on someone's face, it would render them incapable of moving. And they found traces of that in her nasal cavity. She was rendered unconscious, but still alive when the fire at her house began.
The Garvin County Sheriff's Department will not say if Sheila's murder is an active investigation. In fact, the department has declined to comment at all. But Ballard has found that in the year following Sheila's death, the county sheriffs did in fact interview witnesses and other people.
I was able to get a report that outlined actual statements taken from people connected to it that the Devineys were never aware of.
Sheila's parents suspect her first ex-husband, Tyson Hendricks, had something to do with the fatal fire, but he has never been named a suspect in her death. A grand jury that reviewed the evidence did not indict him. Listen closely, though. His name does come up in this exclusive audio-only interview obtained by David Ballard. We are not identifying the witness and have altered his voice.
We haven't proven that Tyson has done anything.
No, I'm just saying I heard a rumor that he was seen leaving there, but other than that, that's all I know. It's just that she's supposed to have been dead before the fire started, and that he was supposed to have been seen leaving the scene after. I don't really pay attention to the numbers.
Would you say that there's more than just a rumor going around since you're being visited by two investigators?
Yeah, I'd say they are.
Tyson first told the fire marshal in his interview that he was at work the day of the fire. Ballard questions that.
The receptionist in the office where he worked and his supervisor and the owner of the company all said that he left before 8 o'clock that morning and returned just around 10:30.
That shortly after the first call came in reporting Sheila's house was on fire. Ballard also directed us to another witness who I reached by phone. Her story may be the most shocking of all, and she claims it came straight from Tyson himself on the day of Sheila's funeral.
You had a very odd interaction with Tyson at the gravesite. What happened there?
He said how hard it had been on him because he was the first person at the scene. He was working for the electric company and he'd been called out to an address where there was a fire. He had been called to turn the power off. When he got there, he realized where it was.
And he said he was one of the first people on the scene?
That's what I recall, yeah.
Remember, that's a totally different story than the one his sister-in-law told us.
I called his work, and the receptionist lady told me that he had left with his brother that morning and that he was not there.
I have so many inconsistencies in Tyson's story for where he was that day.
And don't forget that mysterious friend that Sheila talked about during her last phone call.
Has that person been questioned?
That no one knows who it is.
A boyfriend, perhaps? Or could it have been her second ex-husband?
Had you ever known her to date anyone else or be in touch with anyone else or see any other cars here?
I think it was someone other than him because she had asked him to leave the day before.
The special friend is a mystery, and Ballard says so is the person who has been giving his vehicle some special treatment since he's taken on the investigation.
What happened just the other day?
My rear window of my car was smashed out and all 4 tires were flattened. They didn't steal anything, just smashed out the windows.
Tyson Hendricks may be no more of a suspect in Sheila's murder than the next guy, but Dave Ballard would sure like to pick his brain.
You believe that maybe he has some information?
I believe he does.
We figured the only thing to do is find Tyson Hendricks and ask him some questions for ourselves.
It's very important for us to get his side of the story and to know exactly what happened and to get so many of these questions answered. Hey, Tyson. Hi, I'm Michelle Sigona from Crime Watch Daily.
Oh my God.
How are you doing? We're working on Sheila's case, and I'm just wondering if you can help answer some of those questions about her case.
No, I went through what I've gone through with my family and the kids and the grand jury, and I don't have anything else to add.
The grand jury, what happened in that?
It's all public record.
It is. And so did you have anything to do with the death of Sheila?
Ma'am, no, I didn't. There are families that are suffering because this has been drawn on.
Well, you guys have 2 kids, right?
You guys have a good evening.
But hold on. What about the fire marshal's report?
There seems to be a couple of ignition points throughout the house. Do you know anything about that? Did you see anyone there that day? We're just trying to get the answers for her.
No, ma'am, I didn't. All I can go off of is what the police department, fire department, sheriff's department has said. That's what I know, and that's it.
Were there problems in the relationship?
No, we'd been divorced for a number of years. She'd been married and divorced and had a live-in.
Sheila was writing notes around the house, talking about how scared she was. Is there anything you can tell me about that?
Y'all have a good evening.
Please, sir. Ma'am?
Hendricks pulls away slowly without another word. But Dave Ballard says he's moving full speed ahead on the case.
We've got timelines in place and a team is going to start going to people. We're coming. I work with a team of investigators who are not shaken very easily.
And so back to square one, where any official investigation of Sheila's murder has pretty much been sitting for more than a decade. With her heartbroken parents, Susan and Dave, along with the rest of her family.
Please help us to find justice and get peace in our mind with our daughter's homicide. I know she's with you and she's in good hands.
They've moved on in small ways, planting a tree where her home once stood before the murderous blaze that took her life. And that's where they turn when there is simply no place else to go.
We thought it would work real good for her. It's a good, strong oak. She was a strong girl.
If you like this story, make sure you tune in every day to Crime Watch Daily. You can find where the show airs in your city at crimewatchdaily.com. Watch it live or record it on your DVR and watch it at night. And to all those criminals out there, remember, we are watching.